Hello, my name is Oded Kishoni. I'm a violin maker in Central Virginia, and I'm going to describe a method for examining an instrument acoustically, and I call this method string reciprocity. The basis of this method involves the fact that there's a relationship between the string and the body of the instrument. So when the string is caused to vibrate by either plucking or bowing, the vibrations go through the bridge and into the corpus of the instrument, causing it to radiate sound. The string reciprocity is that if you tap the surface of the instrument, the vibrations then go back through the bridge and cause the string to vibrate. And because of this fact, you can use these vibrations to do all kinds of analysis of the acoustics of an instrument. So the first thing that you can do is to identify the resonant frequency of an instrument. So the first thing I want to explain is a term that I use called resonant frequency. Resonant frequency involves the natural rate of vibration of all objects, and the objects vibrate. Rate of vibration is determined by three factors: their mass, their stiffness, and something called damping. So this is a nice way to illustrate how things vibrate. This is a phone and this is a spring. And so there's a natural rate at which the phone will bounce. And you can't make it bounce any faster or slower. So if you go slower, it's no longer bouncing. If you go fast, I'm vibrating my hand really fast, it gets chaotic, but it's not really bouncing. It only bounces at a certain rate, which is determined by its mass, the weight, the spring, the tension of the spring, and the dampening factor has to do with the surrounding environment. So if I were to do this underwater, for instance, the rate of bounce would be different. So if we shorten this, making the spring stiffer, you can see that it bounces much faster. If we lengthen the spring, it goes much slower. So that's called resonant frequency, and everything in the universe is determined by this principle in physics. So the first procedure we're going to demonstrate is how to identify the resonant frequency of a violin. And the procedure is very simple. I've put something to dampen the three bottom strings, and I've lowered the E string to a very low pitch. And so all one has to do is tap the side of the bridge with something like your fingernail while slowly raising the pitch of the string. What happened will be that as soon as the string passes through a resonant frequency, it just starts to hum, it starts to vibrate. And so that indicates that there's a resonant frequency at that point on the instrument. Now, if you want to get a greater detail about what that resonant frequency is doing on the surface, and just the pattern of vibration, then you leave the string tuned to that pitch, and tap the surface of the instrument, listening very carefully to the vibrating strings. When the string is vibrating, it means that that area is what's called an antinode. And when the string stops vibrating, it means that you are touching a nodal point. So the nodal points are very much like when you are playing on a string and you touch the string and it produces a harmonic. These are areas between vibrations. So vibrations can happen when two areas flap sort of like a bird, and the nodal point is the joint between them. or they can go like a seesaw. So seesaw means that they're going out of phase, and when it's flapping it's called in phase. Those are two different kinds of vibrations, but the nodal points are the junction, the place where you can see there's not actually any motion in the vibration. So the instrument has a series of nodal points that are different for every frequency, for every resonant frequency, and you can identify them by tapping the surface and listening to the string vibrate. The last point is that the instrument has what are called air modes. So air modes are basically like as if you were making a sound from a bottle. You blow across a bottle and it makes a sound. It's simply the air moving across the surface of the mouth of the bottle. The air starts bouncing up and down, and that creates a sound. Violins have the same phenomena, and it has to do with the air coming out through the F-holes. And so you can also identify air modes on a violin by blowing through the F-hole in a sort of little puffs of air, while slowly raising the pitch of the E string. Of course, you can raise the pitch of the E string either by tuning it or just by running your finger up the fingerboard, like that. And you can use a fine tuner as well. And as soon as the string starts to vibrate, that's an air mode. Now, the air mode is affected, since the air mode is affected by the bouncing of the volume of air in and out of the F-hole, the fact that your head and your mouth is close to the surface disturbs it a little bit, and so the exact frequency is going to be a little bit different from what it would be if it was unobstructed, if the F-hole is unobstructed. But it's quite close, and it can be very useful. There are several air modes. The most common one is the one where the air simply moves up and down like this, and so you blow straight down, and while you raise the pitch of the E string, and that gives you it's called A0. That's the air mode going this way. The next air mode is air that moves up and down the length of the instrument, and that's called A1. And you can identify that by blowing obliquely into the F-hole, again, while slowly raising the pitch.